began from United States of America. And what was the reason? What was the reason for that? Because there was some vulnerability, there were financial vulnerability, such as real estate were becoming something else, and that's why they term it a real estate bubble. That was what happened, a real estate bubble. But if there were a problem with real estate in the United States, what happened to the rest of the world? So meaning that even with the current situation, if United States of America did not get it right, it's going to be very difficult for other countries to get it right. And that's why some world leaders were trying to talk to the President of the United States of America to quickly step up his actions so that this virus can easily be dismantled from the world. Now, do you not believe that if the United States of America sneezes, what will happen to other countries? So, I know I'm not an international relation officer. I'm not an international political expert. So I'm not an historian. But these people that I mentioned, if you ask them, they will tell you better and give you concrete answers about that. So you can ask them. They will tell you why is that when something happens in the United States in negatively, it should happen. It should affect the whole world as well. Why is it so? Mind you, and those are the things that were written in the book. Officially, it was declared that the virus started in December 2019. But as at that time, already there were issues, there were some rumors, there was some information flying around. But some leaders took it serious, where some leaders did not. Or at a point in time, you can now see where there were political games. Political blames. Somebody will have to blame somebody, a country will have to blame another country. You can see that instead of focusing on how to deal with this particular deadly virus. So at a point in time, a president is blaming one country, another country is blaming another country, and it spread all over. It spread all over. Even the citizens too. At a point in time, they will say that if you are Chinese, you brought the virus to the world. Should it be so? Forgetting the fact that virus can come up from any part of the world. Any part of the world, it can come from that. So does that mean that because a virus came from a country and a national of that country is in another country, people should not be demoralizing the person? No, it should not be so. The world has moved beyond this kind of attitude. We shouldn't put on this type of attitude. It happens. What is the next thing to do? So instead of engaging in blame games, we should have been focusing, channeling our views. We should be, how do we want to do this? And it should be a joint effort. And that's why in my introduction to this book, I talk about the smallpox. Not until United States of America and USSR came together and some other world leaders came together. And it was a period of Cold War, where countries were supposed to be gladiating their countries and to be saying, yes, I'm on top of the world, I am winning the war. They have to come together because they realize that what is the essence of fighting a war when there is a disease that is even already killing more than the war itself? So they have to come together, bring their resources together to find a way of dealing with the virus, even if they are still going to go back to the virus. So a disease or a pandemic or any outbreak that affects the whole world, it needs joint efforts, not division. Now, This book describes a simple term, um, um, those world financial hard time as it is seen now as a result of lockdown. Now let me ask you this very simple question. As an individual, do you strongly believe in lockdown? Do you actually believe in lockdown? Do you think lockdown is the best way, considering the fact that once the economy of the country is down, there is already a big problem, and economy is the backbone of every society, of every country. So lockdown invariably means economic down. But there is a virus that is spreading across, and what health experts are saying something on that, they are advising. But as an individual, do you actually believe in lockdown? You should be the one to answer that question. And if you want to know more about that, you can see, you can have it in the book, because I actually talk about it. So, but you will be the one to judge and determine whether it has a positive effect or not. Meanwhile, now I have another question again. The second question: is the lockdown a positive response to decelerate the rate of the spread of the virus? Is it a positive response to decelerate the rate of the spread of the virus? I want you will be the one to answer the question, whether it has a positive impact or it doesn't have a positive impact. Surprisingly, some countries are bracing up for the second lockdown. Oh my goodness. Some countries are already bracing up for the second lockdown. Even around Europe and some powerful countries in Europe. Somebody asked me, why is it that all these world countries are so much affected and infected, and they were carried away with this particular virus? And in the history of mankind, we are seeing countries around the world at a particular time, locking down the economy, the country. That is why I try to balance and look at the time that was so critical. All this happened between December 2020 and April 2019. Between December 2019 and April 2020. We can see how devastating it is. You watch it on the television, you see countries. Let me give you an instance. We all know what they call New York. A state in the United States of America. The city that does not sleep. A city of 24 hours, meaning that everywhere is bustling and bustling and bustling. You were seeing it on the television. It was like a graveyard. Silence all over. Has it ever happened? We see some major streets in United Kingdom, in London, out. Not even a single flies on the road. Berlin in Germany, the same thing. Paris in France, the same thing. Barcelona, the same thing. And some other leading big cities and towns around the world. And all this happened within that same time. You see a country taking a decision, I am going to start up with the lockdown this week. Before 2 weeks end, you see another country also having it. And the country that already has started will now be saying, I am extending it again. So we see at a time, almost all the countries were on lockdown. And we all know, even as the economists are saying it, a day lockdown, a day, just a single day. They know how many dollars a country is losing, talk less of months. And these are the finances, these are the resources used to build economy. Now, globally, the problem of job loss is rising and rising and rising. A lot of companies are shutting down because of the effect of the lockdown. So there are a lot of job loss around. Now, meanwhile, some economists strongly believe that the current economic crisis will be worse than the Great Depression, while some economists, on the other hand, affirmed that its effect is below that of Great Depression. So there are various schools of thoughts about the effect of the lockdown presently and what happened during the time of Great Depression. But whichever the case is, are we supposed to find ourselves in this situation? What were the measures put in place so that the effect will not be will not stretch beyond its limits? Yeah, there is a particular chapter that I discussed in the book about the economic crisis now, and I try to evaluate and analyze and synthesize various factors and what happened some years back and what is happening now. Now, another interesting part that is very interesting about this book is the politics and electioneering time. This virus came to some people, it came at the wrong time. The pandemic came at the wrong time. Nobody is wishing a small country or a low economic country or a low income country, whatever, to have this. No. No, it should not be. It should not even be. It should not even come at all. But to some people, to some analysts, looking at the fact that this is an electioneering season in some of these great countries that we are world leaders countries that we are talking about. An instance, the United States of America, there is a presidential election that is coming up. You will be the one to judge. I don't want to say anything about that. Should the president be more focusing on his re-election bid, or he should focus on how to curtail the virus? Even in the news, CNN, Fox News, BBC, whatever, all these big international news outfits, there were some critics and dissecting the event that is happening. Some believe that he's doing his own job as he can do it, while some believe that he's not doing as expected. I think we are going to talk about that next time, because that's why I said I'll be coming up with series. I have like a 3 or 4 season for this particular program, where I'll be talking about my book, and then just for you to have tips and insights about what is happening. The book is having all the details, the dates, and even some of the words used by these particular people. You have it in them, and you can verify them. They are not my own makeup, no. These are the things that you can easily access. You have it all around. You can lay your hands on them to review. So it is actually a kind of compilation. I compiled the reactions, responses, whether good or bad, everything was together. So you, my reader, you'll be the one to decide whether the book is actually, whether what the presidents of those countries did was actually good in your own perspective or not. So everybody has a right to his own view. But actually, I didn't write my view in the book. So Please and please don't come and ask me what is my view. I didn't discuss about my view. I only try to collate, some of these responses together. Not because of anything, just for the sake that when these events happen in the future, we can easily know what were the ways that were adopted by the previous, that happens previously, especially I'm talking about the pandemic outbreak now. So it was actually electioneering time, politicking time, campaign season. Not even in the United States. We have some other countries in, how do I put it? For instance, like Brexit. Already there was a euphoria of Brexit that was going on when this virus came in. So it came in as a shock. It came in as a shock. There was euphoria, rejoice in some quarters because there was a memorandum that was followed. So there was a referendum that was made by the British in order to quit or leave the European Union. And finally, it worked. So Brexit was achieved. So as they were celebrating the Brexit, COVID-19 comes in. Wow. And make it boom. So these are the things. So it's like they were not prepared for it. They were rejoicing. We are finally out of European Union, so we are on our own. We want to do this. They were strategizing, planning, and remodifying their international and their trade and whatever, everything they want to do. And this virus came in. Even when the rumor was going on, was there any attention paid to it? And at the end of the day, we discovered that even some of these world leaders contracted the virus. So that shows that at the end of the day, when some of the world leaders were contracting the virus, what was it? But when they say, you as a Chinese person, you brought this virus to our land, blah blah blah, it was your fault. You were the one that caused it, and it is affecting even the world leaders as well. They were infected. Virus no bound, no color, no race, no popularity. It knows nothing about whether you are the chief or you are the president or you are the chairman of whatever. That's why I said it in the introduction of the book. No boundaries. We all closed our boundaries. And the flies was coming in. It was flying in. It was flying in. Yet we were controlling human beings at the point of entry. And how did the virus come in? So these are the things that were discussed in the book. We are having some elections like local government elections in some countries, states like governorship election in some countries, presidential election in some countries, especially United States of America, as you all know. And the campaign, it affected the campaign. I'm not going to go more about the point. I will want to come next time and we are going to discuss about that because we are going to talk about two important things that I actually some of the things that I actually discuss in the book. We are going to discuss about the politics of that happened between that time. When I say politics, I'm not talking about whether a government or a sitting governor or a sitting president or whoever or is doing well or not, but just to see the reactions and what really transpired within that period, because you will see that that time was the crucial time, that is from December 2019 to April 2020, before the things started easing out and things. Then we are going to talk about the controversy of hydroxychloroquine. We are going to talk about controversy of hydroxychloroquine. I am not talking about the controversy in the sense of was it good or was it not good or what happened, what was the these are just the international reactions and the views and the talks of some of the professors and some of the doctors that were prescribing this drug to their patients, the effectiveness, then the politics that were playing around it. So we are going to discuss about that when I come up with another edition or another show about my book. I want to assure you the book is fully loaded, sincerely speaking. It's fully loaded. After reading the book, I was going through it again. I was just asking myself, oh my goodness, how did we arrive at this situation? I was just asking myself, how did we arrive at this situation? How come we cannot do something scientific? But unfortunately, it happened just of a sudden, bam. And we are all in it. So I will advise you to lay your hands on it so that you have an idea. You read and try to analyze and synthesize what really happens. And you will be the one to judge based on your own perspective and your own opinion about it. So just as I said, the book did not condemn anybody. No country was favored with my book. Nope. Nobody was favored. And nobody was condemned, actually. And that is why even I talk about the Chinese too. So, I'm talking about the China as well. So, they were just the actions and reactions and the responses, and how they manage this, the outbreak. Meanwhile, don't forget, there is another part of the book that was actually dedicated to I wrote how the outbreak of the virus in each of the countries, how it happened. Though it wasn't all the countries that I mentioned, but I try as much as possible to touch all the continents. So as is coming up. Then the role of the WHO, that is the third thing that we are going to talk about as well. So we all know very well too that at a point in time, the President of the United States of America categorically stated that they are pulling out of WHO because they are the greatest financier of World Health Organization, based on based on his assertiveness or what he believes in, the President Donald Trump. So these are the things, three things we are still going to talk about. That is if time permits us to talk about them. Thank you very much for staying on the show. I'll be coming on your way with another interesting package. For my viewers that were unable to come up live at this time, nope, don't worry. The video will be seen. You can access it on my YouTube page. So there is no cause for alarm. Then I'll still be coming up again with some other new authors and writers that have done fantastically well. They are doing a very great job. Very great job. So very soon they will be coming up on my show. Then I have another surprise that will come up by this week with another on my Health Media chat. A big surprise from another country. We are going to discuss about the virus as well. So thank you very much for staying with me. Thank you very much for being part of the show. I love you guys so much. You guys are you give me the joy to continue. And your support, your moral support is actually giving me, it's like a boost for me to continue to do all this. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you. Bye.